Hello, it's Don. All right, let's talk about this Panga for a minute. This will be my 1-year review. It's been a little over a year now since I've had this boat. I'm very pleased with it. I've certainly had fancier boats in my day, but not one this practical and overall useful. It does everything I want it to do. More than I could ask for it. You know, it'll run shallow water if you're a backwater fisherman. It's got that big high bow and steep entry, and it's very capable offshore. Maybe not the best ride compared to a big deep V-hull, you know, a Contender or, you know, Wellcrafts or whatever. But then again, going to a different subject, its fuel efficiency is remarkable, and that's got to do with that hull design. You know, your big DV boats are not near as efficient. You know, if you get one of those boats and you're running two miles to the gallon, you know, you're doing pretty good. With this one, you know, I'm getting 5, 6. If I'm running economy, I can get 7.5 miles a gallon if it's calm. Man, there's a lot to be said about that, I'll tell you. Generally speaking, there are no frills boats. You know, they're made to be that way. A lot of people just have the base hull and they run a tiller motor back there, and that's all they do. It takes low horsepower. This is a 22-foot boat, and realistically, if you just leave it alone as a low horsepower setup, you could run this with a 50 horsepower all day. Matter of fact, this one had a 70 on it when I bought it, and it was enough. But in my case, I run offshore. It's nothing uncommon for me to run 50, 60 miles offshore. On here in Southwest Florida, you know, them afternoon storms can come up on you. So it's nice for me to be able to, you know, on a calm day, I can run 30 miles an hour and still be backed off the throttle. So that's why I went for a little bit more horsepower. By backing off the throttle though, with that 70, you know, for me to run 20 miles an hour, I was running the motor 4,500 RPMs. 20 miles an hour with this one, I'm running 3,000 RPMs at that. So I can back off the throttle, keep my speed up, and use the same fuel. So that's worked out very well. It's a narrow boat, so when you're out there fishing, or you know, you got a couple people in it and they walk to one side, yeah, it's gonna rock. It's a narrow boat. This one's 5 feet wide at the water line. It's what you might call tippy. It's like a big canoe. You know, it's not that bad. It's not gonna tip over on you. But it's not like your 8-foot wide flats boat, or, you know, a big Boston whaler or Contender or something. You know, it's just not how it is. It's made to be narrow, light. It's a light boat and efficient. Once again, this is a 22-foot boat, and it's on a single axle trailer. This whole boat, motor, you know, combination fuel, everything, when this boat's loaded, it's maybe around 2,200 pounds. That's extremely light. But there you go. Now I'm very efficient. I'm not using the fuel to run it. Oh, what else might you like, might not like about a Panga? Well, there ain't no head in this thing. That's for sure. You know, if you gotta go, you gotta do the aqua thing. You gotta go swimming or whatever. You know, if you got a wife that says, I'm not going if it don't have a head, well, don't buy your wife a Panga. She's not gonna like it. Now there's large Panga. They make them big, you know, 30 feet plus, and I'm sure you can get a head and all that stuff in it. And there's some manufacturers out there that make a version of a Panga. Very high dollar, very plush, you know, inside, outside liners, you know, all the bells and whistles. But you know, with the very plush comes the price tag, so you need to have a plush checkbook if you're gonna go that route. The idea of the Pangas is that it's, I mean, very fuel efficient, very economical. And to buy one, they're, you know, for what you get, they're not expensive comparatively. Just not. So, you know, just a regular Joe can afford, you know, a decent sized boat, get the family out and go out all day, and not have to take a second mortgage out to put gas in the boat, because, you know, it doesn't use anything. I made a 60-mile run out and back a week ago, and I cleared out the GPS with going out there back and forth and my fishing. I ran 135 miles, and I used 23 gallons of fuel. It's just I got a 30-gallon tank, and I'm here making them big runs. Yes, I brought another 5 gallons just because, but didn't need it. You know, I averaged just under 6 miles a gallon with that run. That was real good. It was 5.75, I think. Anyways, like I said, they're generally a base boat. They're a bare hull, and you build them the way you want them. This one used to be real base. I built a live well into it. Didn't come with it. It had a leaning post in here, and it just took up too much room, so I built a single seat pedestal So I got more room for fishing in here. Just had that one basic console, and I've added on to it on top. I needed more height. I needed room to put some electronics. So we got that. And then just a universal T-top. This one, you can buy these on the internet. They adjust for width, and you bolt it to your boat, and it fits good, because a regular bimini top's kind of in the way when you're fishing, and you have to have sun shade here in Southwest Florida. It'll just roast you without it. Anyway, so am I happy with it? Yeah. Do I have the knowledge to compare it to other boats? I'd say yes. Not that it matters. I do have my captain's license, my 100-ton captain's license, so I've got thousands of hours on the water. I've had more boats than most people can imagine. I've piloted more boats, multi-engine boats, big boats, little boats, you name it. Been there, done it. I've had this Panga for over a year now, and I don't see myself going back to a big plush boat. This is just so easy. I get back, I can just hose all this down. Now I'm a nut, I wash it soap and water. Salt water's so bad here, especially the trailer. Wash it soap and water. But it's a very easy boat to maintain. I mean, there's no carpet, there's no nothing in here. This is just fiberglass. So I get the scrub brush out, and I get this thing cleaned up in a jiffy. I like that. I'm primarily an offshore guy. I fish backwater with it as well. Backwater's not a problem. It floats in very little water. I'd say, when you put your motor up, it drafts less than 10 inches. It's crazy. And when it takes off, if you're in the shallows and your little hole you got to take off, the bow doesn't come up and it doesn't sink into the back. It pretty much just rises and goes. So if you're backwater fishing, don't turn your nose up to a Panga. It'd be a good boat for you. Do you get 3-4 of your buddies out on this boat and go fishing with you? No, you don't. It's too narrow for that. If everybody ran this one side at one time, your tail side's going to be tightening up. You're like, whoa, what are you doing? You're going to flip us over. Is it going to flip over? No, but it definitely leans. So anyways, I try to touch on everything here. As far as taking the big water, like I said, I've been offshore with it. I've been caught in storms with it. If you're going head on into a sea, it's a little rough. It'll slap a little bit. You got to back off. Generally, if I'll run 17 mile an hour or so if it gets rough. But that's okay. It's on plane. This boat's actually planing that fast. It's got what's called a delta pad. So even though it's got that big giant V in the front, you see, just past the front, it starts to go flat, and it goes all the way to the back, and it flattens out at the back, and it's not a whole lot of V what we do have there. But you can see that flat. It's probably 20 inches wide, and that's what makes it so efficient. It rides on that flat, and it just gets up and goes. So anyway, if you have thoughts about a Panga, you ever thought you might want one, that's what you're up against. They're a good boat, generally a no frills boat. Even though expensive frilled boats are very efficient because of the hull design. So you can afford to take it out at the end of the day. You don't have to save up 3 weeks to put gas in a boat. All right, well, if you had any questions about the Panga, I hope this helps you. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day.